Hello, I'm Anthony David Hobbs, and I sincerely hope this review comes out okay. A number of my reviews have malfunctioned and gone wrong, so I really hope this one works. Oh, visual aid. The Justice League, yes. The best superheroes from DC, yes. The Justice League, well, DC's answer to Avengers United, yeah. Okay, before I begin, just three little notes about the original Superman film. From 1978. It was called Superman the Movie. Now, when you call anything, something the movie, that implies there's never been a movie version of this before. But there had. In the early 50s, there was that film Superman and the Mole People or something. Yeah, and then it was followed by the TV show. So there had been a Superman movie before. So why are you calling it Superman the Movie? What the heck? What's that all about? Yeah. At no point in the first Superman film does Superman ever use his laser eyes coming out, his heat vision. Because it was never relevant to the story. That's why. You can't just have him use a power for the sake of it. It has to have something to do with the story. You can't just go, oh, the fans are like that if he uses his heat beams. Well, yeah, the fans would like that if it was relevant to the story, yeah. And the third thing is, when Superman is interviewed by Lois Lane, and she says, do you like pink? And he says, I like pink very much, Lois. Get the Party Started was her best song. Okay, moving swiftly on. This is going to be the review of Superman 2, which is my favourite, still my favourite of all the Superman films. There was something about it that just outshone all the rest, yeah. Because Zod was my favourite villain. He has all the power Superman has. And he has, yes, 2 minions that serve him, yeah. And it's also, more personal because Zod was the deadly enemy of Jor-El. He was once trusted by the Kryptonian elders, and he was a general. He was in charge of the military, yeah, but abused his power, if you like. He wanted absolute power, absolute rule on Krypton. That was no longer an option because Krypton was destroyed. So instead he wants to be absolute rule on planet Earth, which is an option, yeah. And I remember, Superman 2 was the first Superman film I saw properly all the way through. I think I was about 6 years old. And yes, it actually frightened me a bit. Zod, Non and Ursa, yeah. Because Superman, I thought, oh, what a wonderful idea. Amazing superpowers. We can save people anywhere, any place, any time, yeah. But what if amazing powers like that got into the hands of people that were evil? Yes, it was quite a scary thought, yes. Power is a mixed blessing. If it's used for evil, yes, all catastrophe, yeah. So it could be used for good, it could be used for evil. Power's not necessarily a good thing, yeah. And, yes, the fans were divided. Was it a good idea, Superman revealing to Lois Lane that he and Clark Kent are one and the same? For the first quarter of the film, he does his very best to hide the fact, And then eventually revealed, well, he has to, doesn't he? Because what is the one thing that would make him give up his powers? Well, to be with Lois Lane. He wants to be immortal with her, yeah. And then they can have children and, play happy families and all that, yeah. But, okay, big spoiler alert. Superman 2 is my favourite, but it is not perfect. A few bits and bobs could have been done a bit better. At the end of the film, or almost the end of the film, Lois Lane knows that Superman and Clark Kent are one and the same. He gave up his powers, then gets his powers back. He's Superman again, and realises that he and Lois Lane cannot be an item anymore. And she can't cope with that, knowing that he's Superman. So he uses his superpower. He kisses her, which makes her forget that he and Superman are one and the same. She remembers everything else, but doesn't know that. And well, that's stupid. You can't. Big spoiler here that. A turning point when she finds out that he's Superman, and then they just carry on like it never happened, go back to the status quo. That's stupid. You can't dump a massive piece of information like that and then just carry on like it never happened. No, you can't do that. It sort of made sense back in the 80s, but looking back you think, no, that's stupid. That's a silly twist, yeah. In Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man's girlfriend has recently found out that her boyfriend and Spider-Man are one and the same. And they don't dismiss it like it never happened. No, they do something with it and expand on the story. Yes, that's what they do. In other words, well, I don't know, I think the end of Superman 2 would have worked just as well if Lois Lane had decided, I'll do my best to get over it. And she did promise, I'll never tell anyone that Clark Kent and Superman are one and the same. Well, that's good. Yeah, yeah. He didn't need to erase her memory. It made sense back then, but I don't like the idea now. Okay. And another bit of nitpicking. Why is it the Fortress of Solitude doesn't have any locks? Any Tom, Dick, or Harry can just go in and out just like that. All that high-tech technology, but no, no burglar alarms. No force field to stop anyone getting in. I mean, okay, it was built in the Arctic where no people live, but we still have Arctic explorers. Yeah, they could go in and out any time they like. So that's a bit silly. Yeah, and whereas Marlon Brando was going to be in the original Richard Donner cut, but then the rest of the film was directed by Richard Lester. And anyway, the point is, Marlon Brando appears as a ghost again to Superman, but they cut all those bits out because Marlon Brando would have charged. Well, he charged much too much money in the first one, and he was going to charge even more in this one. So they thought, no, we're not. He's had quite enough money, yeah. But in a way, that's a blessing in disguise because we get to see the hologram of Superman's mother more. Yeah, Suzanne York, a really good actress. We get to see more of her, and his mother does little or nothing in the first one, so she has lots more to do. Yeah. And Zod, yes, is my favourite Superman because he has the same superpowers, yes, and they have that epic battle in the city, throwing cars and lorries and stuff at each other, smashing through buildings. Yeah, it is just like the comic book has come to life. It's just they go all out on the budget, but it's hard to hurt each other because they both have superpowers, smashing, biffing. Piece of the Empire State Building falls down. Superman grabs it and cages Non, and all this and that. Yeah, anything goes. They go all out. Yeah, it's great stuff. It was amazing to see as a kid, and still a lot of fun as a grown-up. Yeah, and that when you think Superman battle, you think the epic battle in Metropolis. Yeah, although we see the Empire State Building, they call it Metropolis. Why are there famous landmarks of New York City? Yeah, well, there we are. And but unfortunately, because Zod has all the same superpowers, they have to get rid of him. Yes, they have to kill him off because they can't let him go running amok, threatening to kill millions of innocent people. Yeah, so they had to kill him off. Or did they? Because I've been thinking about it. No, there were two other alternatives. Why doesn't Superman just use kryptonite on them? He knows kryptonite can hurt people from Krypton. Okay, he can't do it personally. He can't hold a piece of kryptonite in town. But he could have arranged for some humans to be in the Fortress of Solitude with bits of kryptonite and then attack the three baddies when they get to the Fortress. He's expecting them to be there. Yeah. Why doesn't he do that? Yeah. Or alternatively, so that Zod could come for a possible sequel, why didn't he send them to the Phantom Zone? Because think about it. The ghost of his mother warns him about criminals from the Phantom Zone. It is possible they could escape. All that advanced technology advanced to drain superhuman powers away. Why doesn't he send Zod to the Phantom Zone? Yeah, that way he could have come for a sequel. Yeah. Or if Superman's so smart, why doesn't he build a device that can send baddies to the Phantom Zone? Yeah, and that would be a good trap that they could go in there. Yeah, well, I guess they thought to make a more dramatic ending, and plus when they were making Superman 2, they didn't think there was going to be a sequel. So kill them off, kill off them. And yes, it is a pretty cool death. Yeah, he's this all-powerful, menacing villain. He has a really dramatic death. Yeah, so it works. Yeah, because he thinks he's still powerful, blissfully unaware his powers have been taken away from him, and then Superman crushes. He screams in pain. Yes. So yes, it has a really dramatic ending. Yeah. And and why does he pull his logo off and turn it into a plastic net and temporarily stop Non from attacking him? Well, because it looks cool. It is not strictly relevant to the plot, but it looks cool. I mean, it would have been a bit silly if you just run a regular net at him. No, a Superman force field net at him. Yeah. It just looks cool. That's why he does it, yeah. And we have Niagara Falls, yes, for dramatic effect, famous locations, yeah. And the weird thing is, when I first saw Superman 2, I thought Clark Kent and Lois Lane were falling in love. And they're in a honeymoon suite or something. No. They are in a honeymoon suite, the first quarter of the film, but they're working undercover reporters. And there's one bit where Lois Lane says, "You sleeping on the couch. We're just pretending to be in love. We're not in love at all. I don't fancy you, not in the least." But she's madly in love with Superman. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so we see the fundamental difference between the character of Clark Kent and Superman, yeah. Okay, that's enough for me, and I still think Superman 2 is the best, yeah. Because it was so good, it was hard to top. You know, they have tried many times, yeah. And because the first one was so unbelievably successful, they were certain there was going to be, well, they didn't think there was going to be a sequel to Superman 2 when they originally made it, but then later thought there was, and that's why we have Coming Soon Superman 3 going up the credits. So yes, very confident there's going to be another one, yeah. Which, well, we'll get more on the third one later. So, to cut a long story short, Superman needs an equally powerful villain, and we got that in Zod, yeah. And amazingly, Terrence Stamp had no intention of playing Zod originally. The only reason he ever had anything to do with the franchise was because he wanted to work with Marlon Brando. Yeah, he said, you can't turn that opportunity down, yeah. Okay, fair enough, but there'd been other Zods, but there was something about, yeah, Terrence Stamp is the definitive Zod. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm Anthony Hobbs, and I'm never bored.